Fresh Zubimendi links to Real Madrid. Arsenal apparently are being joined by Chelsea in the race for Benjamin Sesko. Apparently, we're targeting 6 signings. We know we're in silly season, so we might as well go over what's concerning our football club this morning. Smash the like button if you haven't. Now, apparently, in the Athletics podcast, David Ornstein has been speaking, in which he said Arsenal are focusing on a new nine. That isn't anything new necessarily. Whether it's going to be Sesko or Gyökeres, they also want a top quality wide player, ideally on the left side. They also would like some backup for Saka on the right. That's why they targeted Embuemo. Now, especially where the left-hand side is concerned, we know for the best part of over a year, we've been looking to address that area, even going as far back to, do you remember Martinelli's standout season where he got 15 goals? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but the midway point through that season was we not looking at Mikhail Mudryk. So that has been one that we've been looking at. But equally, maybe not journalists as credible as David Ornstein, but we did see this week that for every rumor about we want a left winger and it's a priority, some people are saying it's a want, not necessarily a necessity for Arsenal. And we've seen as extreme as Arsenal want 3 attacking additions. I don't know. What would you lot prefer? A 10, a winger, a striker, 2 strikers and a winger? Probably not, but 3 strikers, 2 wingers and a forward. I'm not sure. But yeah, that isn't anything new there. I don't think we're going to buy a right winger specifically because they're going to, be an out and out right winger kind of thing, if that makes sense. Probably someone on the left that can deputize on the right. Maybe someone that is their strongest position in theory is on the right, but they're more likely to play on the left. I think you get me a left wing. Ideally, I'd like 2 strikers and a left winger. Between that new left winger on paper, Trossard, Martinelli, Wanyeri, people can play on the right-hand side. In midfield, they need to renew Partey or let him go. And if he does, they're going to have to replace him. They would like a centre-half. They were in for Howson, but didn't manage to get him. So watch the space on that, people. David Ornstein reveals Arsenal's 6 planned summer signings. David Ornstein has revealed that Arsenal are targeting as many as 5 important signings this summer. So how's it gone from 6 to 5 already? Anyways, the Gunners are planning a big transfer window as they aim to take that final step and win the Premier League after 3 successive second place finishes. Transfer journalist Ornstein reports that Arsenal are planning to sign a number 9, a left winger, ideally a right winger, a central midfielder if Partey leaves, a central defender, centre back, and a backup goalie. Arsenal are focusing on a new number 9, whether that's going to be Benjamin Sesko or Gyökeres. I think I've seen that already. They also want a top quality wide player, ideally on the left-hand side. We've seen names like Rodrigo, Anthony Gordon, and Nico Williams before. Smash the likes. They would also like some backup for Bukayo Saka on the right. That's why they targeted Embuemo. So we've read that before. In midfield, they're going to need to renew Partey or let him go. And if he does, they will need to replace him. We've gone over the centre-back stuff. And this is said as well, people. They may need 2 goalies as Neto returns to Bournemouth. Fair enough. Scott Carson is a free agent. Maybe he could stay for a year. It's been reported that Arsenal are in talks for Benjamin Sesko as their new number 9. As we know, we're closing in on the signing on Kepa as David Raya's backup. Zubimendi will get onto it, but it's kind of predictable that he scored in Spain's Nations League defeat, played quite well. You can see how he's going to be our 6, but in my opinion, I don't want to get hung up on positions, but you could see him and Rice as a double pivot. Zubimendi's got a lot to offer in the opponent's final third, rather than being the connector and the conductor. I feel there's a lot he could offer. Bad news for the opponents, but good news for us on the edge of an opponent's area, people. I don't think people are, in my opinion, I know you can want Gyökeres and I want Gyökeres, but I don't think fans are as excited around Sesko as they need to be. I think he'll be decent for us. And Zubimendi in particular, like, he's 26. He's on the opposite end to Sesko. It's not potential. It's you're here now. What can you do? Now, it was predictable. Reports out of Spain. I know it feels like every 2 weeks we are saying these things about Zubimendi, hijack, blah, blah, blah. Then we're seeing equal rumors that Arsenal are confident. We've dotted I's, we've crossed T's. Accountancy periods is when this deal will go through. Everything's kind of done. But to me as an ignorant fan, and let me know your thoughts. I hear all of that and the credible people, but until you're holding the shirt, anything can happen to me. But apparently reports out of Spain are saying Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal was almost done, but a call from Real Madrid has now changed everything. The situation is now open. Now, apparently Florentino Perez was at Spain versus Portugal. Maybe, He's presidential in footballing terms. Maybe he was just there. There was talk of him trying to sign a special player, which is not Nico Williams, in which Zubimendi's been linked. People, if they get Zubimendi, we go for Stuttgart's Angela Steeler, in my opinion. Arsenal are still waiting on Zubimendi's final decision. Real Madrid have reached out to the players' camp to ask whether he has made a firm decision, and the answer is no. To be fair, surely if you haven't made the decision now, Arsenal, in theory, have to move on. It's too late in the day. You know, we have to know what your plans are. Of course, anything could change. Again, the situation apparently is all open. Two reasons Arsenal could miss out on 51 million Martin Zubimendi transfers. Real Madrid make move. We have an agreement to sign the Spain international, but a deal is not yet over the line for the midfielder who is drawing late interest from Real Madrid. Arsenal are all geared up to sign Martin Zubimendi, but may still have reason to sweat over his decision. The Gunners are primed to secure a 51 million move, although a medical is still required. It would not be the first time a transfer had looked all sewn up for the Spain international after Liverpool thought they would see Zubimendi arrive as Arsenal's first signing, but on that occasion, the player decided he preferred to remain with Sociedad rather than make the move to Anfield. While Mikel Arteta's side have an agreement over payments to Sociedad in a familiar scenario, Zubimendi himself has suggested his future is not yet resolved. Asked whether he could yet remain with his hometown club, the 26-year-old noted he did not know where his future lied. Now, that was in the build up to the Nations League semi-finals and finals. Of course, he's going to play that game whether he stays at Sociedad, goes to Real Madrid, or signs for Arsenal. I don't think we've learned anything now. By now, we're all aware that everybody in Europe likes him. Xabi Alonso gave him his chance at Sociedad. He's now the Real Madrid manager. Those rumors are going to continue, people. If Zubimendi indicates that he's willing to turn down Arsenal in favor of a move to Real, the La Liga runners-ups will attempt to negotiate a deal worth less than his 51 million buyout clause. Now, if you're Sociedad, Arsenal apparently want to activate your release clause or pay the release clause. They want to, in Real Madrid's case, want to pay less than that. Zubimendi has a contract until 2027, so you could argue it's kind of now or never. They probably won't. Their negotiation hand won't be as strong next summer. The Spanish Giants are not said to be willing to match the offer Zubimendi received from Arsenal either. The North London club are said to have offered a deal of around worth 8 million per year. We've been linked with Kenan Yildiz. Apparently, Juventus have responded to Andrea Berta, people, in relation to that. Juventus are reportedly planning to offer Kenan Yildiz a new contract in a bid to ward off interest from clubs like Arsenal. Yildiz enjoyed an impressive campaign for Juventus this season, producing 16 goal contributions and 48 appearances across all comps. The 20-year-old is attracting interest from a number of sides across Europe, and Arsenal are among them, with Mikel Arteta keen to strengthen his forward line. Italian outlet Tutto Sport, no clue on their credibility, are reporting that Arsenal are the club who are most interested in Yildiz. We are said to have a long-standing interest in Yildiz and are ready to spend between 50 million euros, 42 million pounds, and 50.5 million on a new winger. It's claimed Yildiz and Nico Williams are Arsenal's top targets. Juventus believe he is worth closer to 84 million pounds, which equates to 100 million euros. I'm not sure on that, people. Quality player, can play out wide, can play a number of roles, especially at home in the creative role in the 10. Very good technically, wouldn't cry at all. I would describe him as a gem at Juventus. Surely there's many people they would let go before him, in my opinion, like Vlahovic. So we'll have to see what's going on there, man. He's quality though. What Yildiz said here, he gave us energy. It was important for us. He told them about Tudor, who's their manager's impact. Since he arrived, we've been happy. We've been working hard. I'm happy with the season and I want to improve in everything. I'm always looking ahead. The number 10 shirt doesn't add any pressure. I play as usual and I'm happy to be wearing it. Fair enough. Mikel Arteta did tell Arsenal fans that this summer has to be a big one. It's going to be a big one and we are very excited about it. When you're going to go again, we want to increase the depth of the squad, the quality and the skills that we need to go to the next step. Every summer is big because it's an opportunity, especially because of the number of players we have in the squad right now that is necessary. But it's a big summer for many things because, first of all, we have to maintain the good foundations that we have, and then obviously how we can improve and involve the team. Let's hope that the club follow through with that, people. Benjamin Sesko, people, The rumors are still there. Apparently, Romano said Arsenal are focused on Sesko, discussing and advancing for Sesko. The other name on the list is Gyökeres. At the moment, that situation is not developing. Sky Germany, who are copying Romano in that they keep just talking about Sesko every second of the day. Leipzig's plan is clear. They want to generate more than 80 million from a transfer of Sesko, 80 million euros. So that's 70, 60 odd million quid. The total transfer package is expected to exceed that amount. Arsenal remain the most concretely interested party. No breakthrough between clubs yet. Leipzig remain calm and know the player's value. Arsenal and Leipzig have already scheduled their next round of talks regarding Sesko with a positive feeling around the possible deal. Leipzig value Sesko between 80 to 100 million, says Florian Plettenberg. Now, this is said Benjamin Sesko to Arsenal transfer takes new twist with Chelsea ready to strike. They've already got Liam Delap. You'd imagine they sign another one. Apparently, they're ready to rival us for the signing of Sesko. Apparently, we're still to make up our minds on who our striker target is. Sesko is on our shortlist as they look to sign a world-class striker in the summer transfer window, but so is Gyökeres, and the indecision could cost them. I'm not sure. Chelsea have already made a move on Liam Delap. It looks like they're going to get Borussia Dortmund's Jamie Gittins. Apparently, they're also pondering whether to push for another striker with Hugo Ekitike and Sesko on their shortlist. Apparently, Chelsea reached an advanced stage for the Eintracht Frankfurt star Ekitike, who could cost 84 million. Sesko would represent a cheaper alternative with the Mirror Football understanding the Leipzig striker is available for 60 million this summer. Arsenal have held talks with Leipzig and the Slovenian striker's rep. Nothing has been agreed. Arsenal already face competition from United for Gyökeres. So it's a bit of a merry-go-round, people. Again, everybody's adding their own sort of stuff to this. You did see earlier this week, or better yet, weekend, Trossard remains in line to extend his contract at Arsenal. Sources close to the player have confirmed there is still interest from Saudi Arabia, but to date, there has been no concrete offers this summer. And his priority is to stay at Arsenal. Bukayo Saka and William Saliba have held positive dialogue with Arsenal over fresh terms and want to stay at the club. Arsenal are relaxed about the process, and while there's an understanding negotiations can take time, they remain confident agreements will be struck. Ethan Wanyeri and Miles Lewis-Skelly are also in line for new deals, which would also include lucrative pay rises. Their current contracts are due to expire in the summer of 2026, but there's optimism. Agreements for both players are now in sight, which is music to Arsenal fans' ears. Arsenal made Thomas Partey what they consider to be a competitive contract around 10 days ago, but at this moment in time, there's still no agreement between the parties and the situation remains open. Partey wants to stay at Arsenal. However, he is said to be cautious that his next contract could potentially represent his last big deal, and his inner circle want to see his importance to the team reflected within the terms proposed. People moving away from that, again, we're moving closer apparently to signing Kepa. Arsenal are said to be long-term admirers of Kepa, and this is not the first time his name has been raised in recruitment convos. The player understands the existing hierarchy at Arsenal with David Ryan number one, but is willing to fight for his place. El Hilal are now interested in Victor Gyökeres after being rejected for Victor Osimhen. I mean, at 27 years of age, can you really turn down Saudi money? Apparently, Arsenal have held talks with West Ham over a potential move for Mohamed Kudus. Have covered this in another video, but let me know your thoughts on hearing that initially. Apparently, Gabriel Jesus has changed the thinking of Arsenal's hierarchy, and we want to give him a new contract. Why would that be? Allegedly, Arsenal would sacrifice Martinelli or Arsenal to fund Rodrigo with Martinelli's sale. So the Rodrigo rumors are still there. Rodrigo and Kepa have become top targets for Arsenal, who are expected to finalize the arrivals of Benjamin Sesko and Martin Zubimendi in the coming days. So what do we make of that? Assuming those four signings all come through the door, do you believe we can win the league?